5, 4, 3, 1.
All right, guys. So we asked a question on Twitter with Sippin with the Boys. What are your favorite sports moments? We got some responses back from our faithful followers. So we're going to read some of them. Shout out to the people that did respond. And then Chug and I are going to give our top 3 sports moments of all time. So the first one, all the way out from Oklahoma, is Papa Curb. A great one here, the 2013 Boston Red Sox postseason playoff run. For those of you that don't remember, this was the year of the Boston City bombing. The band of brothers came together in Fenway in Boston and were crowned World Series champs. And I got to be honest, Chug, this is one of my top 3 favorite moments as well. As a Red Sox fan,
I see enough Red Sox stuff around here to know you're going to like this one.
Yeah, we've been pretty fortunate the last couple of years, but 2013 was a special year. Obviously, the Boston bombing, the massacre, the way that city rallied together. David Ortiz's speech, he's like, this is our fucking city. Like, when Nesson played that live on TV, that was wild.
Some of the best sports moments come, with the emotional times, and it was an emotional time in Boston at that point. So, they were able to take people's mind off some serious situations and some scary things, and it was just, a memorable time in sports.
Yeah, an all-time favorite.
We also had Brian McCarthy. He liked one of his was Trey Burke's shot from the parking lot against Kansas. You remember that one?
Oh yeah.
Way downtown.
Yeah, big Michigan fan, and I think we can all agree that Michigan is a basketball school now and no longer a football school.
It's starting to move that way.
Yeah. Juwan Howard. I think actually, recording this now, but I think Michigan's got a big game tonight against Iowa. Top 3 in the country right now, looking at a number 1 seed in the NCAA tournament. So Juwan Howard's got those boys playing, while Jim Harbaugh has no clue what's going on. So. All right, last response was from Bill's Blitzkrieg, and he actually had 2. Huge one I think we can all relate to was the Teron Johnson interception return against the Ravens in the playoffs. And then another one, an all-time classic, some shout-out to some boys from Buffalo that were in this game, was the 6 overtime win for Syracuse against UConn in the Big East tournament back in 2009 at Madison Square Garden. All-time Johnny Flynn, Paul Harris.
I remember those teams. The Niagara Falls High School basically went to Syracuse. Their top few players there all teamed up and, played together at the local university, if you will, the time with basketball. They're kind of a New York institution basketball-wise over the time. Now UB's growing up a little bit, but they've always kind of been the big dog in the state.
Yeah. They I think they claim themselves as the state or the University of New York.
No, those are good ones. So we kind of prepared 3 of our own, just kind of thinking, what you think, what I think, what are going to be our best ones. I don't know. I know you said the Boston one you were definitely in on. For me, I think there's a few that stand out, and I don't know, this might be going back a bit, but the summer in '98, it wasn't exactly a moment, but I feel like it was a moment in baseball. Mark McGwire versus Sammy Sosa. They're going against, a record that had existed since 1961 when Roger Maris hit 61 homers. And having those guys both chasing the record and both breaking it in the same season, I just remember waking up and, seeing, who's at this number. It was like I was checking the stock market to see the home run totals between the 2 of them.
So how old were you back in '98?
I'd have been like 13. 13? So I'd have been,
okay.
I guess a young chap.
So I got to be honest, I'm pretty shocked by that answer. I would not have expected that from you. But so did you watch a 30 for 30 then when they had the story on McGuire and Sosa?
I haven't seen that yet.
No, okay.
No. I just remember from the time period, and I just was trying to think of iconic things that kind of happened. And it's not one shot or one play, but it's that summer was kind of amazing. I wasn't even a huge baseball fan, but it just captured my attention and really, I think it was the heyday of the sport in my lifetime, at least.
The
steroids or otherwise. We can debate that and all that stuff. But no, I'm having McGuire finish out on top, and Sosa was right there with him. It was just a crazy season.
Yeah, so it's sort of like those moments that you'll always remember where you were in time, like physically. Where were you when that went down?
For sure, yeah. So. No, I remember, being outside in the summer playing, baseball, football in the backyard kind of thing. That's what I was doing at the time, and just talking about it. It was the biggest topic of the thing. You know, the ESPN magazine would come out. They'd be on the cover every episode, every issue.
Yeah, it seemed like every day it was changing. Who was in the lead? Everybody was scoreboard watching to see if McGuire or Sosa both went deep. So, but all right. So my second one, and I don't know, this dates way back. I think I was 3 or 4 years old.
We're going way back.
But this altered my sports fandom for the rest of my life.
Very influential.
And there's ties to a Buffalo kid, a kid from Angola who played high school basketball at Nichols, went to Duke University, and that's Christian Leitner. And the shot against Kentucky, which just so happened to be, I think it was like my 3rd birthday party back in late March. And ever since then, watching that replay and watching, the 30 for 30 and all the Duke stories on it, it was like, kid from Buffalo hit that shot, and a historic shot. And ever since then, I have been a Duke fan. And that's probably one of the reasons why, is watching that shot, that highlight, year in and year out, especially come March Madness time, which we're almost at. So
it's amazing how just him being from Buffalo gives you as a Buffalo, somebody growing up a Buffalo kid, I guess you will, it gives you the interest in Duke because he came from here. He made that epic play. I mean, everyone's seen it before, and of course from around here it's nonstop. We all know Christian Leitner. Just a great college basketball moment.
Yeah. It's funny to think, oh, you're from Buffalo, New York. Like, how are you a Duke fan? Like, you a bandwagoner? And it was like, yeah. I mean, I might be. Duke was good. That was when they were making their runs in the early '90s. But yeah, that was a life-changing moment for myself.
Well, I grew up in the shadows of the university at Buffalo, so my number 2 moment comes from their basketball team. And we're not going back quite as far, so we'll go to, was it 2018, where they upset Arizona, 13 seed versus number 4 seed, in the NCAA tournament. And, they blew them out of the water. They won by almost 20, I think. That wasn't, first half it was close, and they took over in the second half, won the game. I mean, C.J. Massenberg, Nick Perkins. I mean, I love Big Nick.
Yeah. Jeremy Harris nailing those threes in the corner and celebrating, running down I think he's got a GIF right out now. But yeah, great call though. That was a special run.
What was it, Clark? Defense. He played a lot of great defense in that game. I can't remember his first name. Clark, little guy.
He was a transfer. I can't remember.
He wore the headband all the time.
Was it him or was? Oh shit! As a season ticket holder, I gotta admit I'm embarrassed by not knowing this. But there was a kid from Rochester too, though. That was a great guard.
Jordan?
Defender. No, Devontae Jordan. No, he was from Florida. Jordan. But there was another kid from Rochester.
I remember Carruthers.
That was him.
Dante Carruthers. Yep.
So
piece it together with together. We've had a few sips on this IPA, but we'll get there.
Great minds think alike.
So what else you got for me? What's the next one from you?
As a born and raised in Buffalo, New York, I mean, we're not going too far, a couple months, but the Bills run.
Okay.
It was
2020.
Yeah. And I think what made it special is, unfortunately, due to COVID, no fans in the stadium, not being able to get there and watch the guys play. But, that felt like that gave the city something to look forward to every weekend. Whether it was the Thursday night game, Saturday, Sunday night, Monday night, the city was buzzing all week long. It was a distraction, for my daughter, 4-year-old. She became a huge Josh Allen fan this year. So watching her growing up.
Your daughter or you? Because I've seen some videos circulating. You can check out Sip Sip Chug on TikTok if you want to see Wolves confess love for Josh Allen.
Definitely a man crush on number 17, the rocket arm. But, like I said, it was a distraction for me from a shitty 2020 due to COVID. So for the Bills to, do what they did, they fell short, but plenty of hope and, exciting times are, on the horizon. I mean,
it seems like they finally found their guy in Allen, and that's exciting.
Yeah, and we can talk about it later, but for the Bills to be able to hopefully find their guy when all the trade talks of all these other quarterbacks are going on, like, pretty fortunate and lucky here in Buffalo, New York right now.
Well, if you want to stay on quarterbacks, we can get to my last one here because it involves a very interesting quarterback. I don't know how many of you guys know about the hefty lefty, Jared Lorenzen. Familiar?
R.I.P.
Yeah. unfortunately, we don't have him with us anymore, but he put on a heck of a show for us back in 2003. That 7 overtime game against Arkansas, they weren't able to win it, but what a thriller. 5 hours of football. That's right up my alley.
Was that when they celebrated a little bit too early? Was that game, or was that maybe a couple of years after? I think it was LSU that they might have.
Yeah, I think it might have been a different game. But
what number did he wear in college?
Was he number 4? I'm trying to remember.
It was double digits.
Was it double?
Was it 22? I thought
he wore
some
22
number. Yeah. But
I'm thinking of him in a Giants jersey 4 years with the Giants there too.
Super Bowl winner, right? Has he got 1 or 2?
I think he's got a ring.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then post NFL, he played in some made-up turf league out in Louisville, Kentucky, and I think he suffered a pretty gruesome injury.
Yep.
But yeah, damn. All right.
He was big at that point. I mean, in college he was 6'4", 285, but by the time he was playing down in Kentucky River
if not more. So knowing you as a Cowboys fan, I was like, oh, here's a Troy Aikman story. But for you to pull a hefty lefty, I was like, okay.
No, that was a classic game. I remember actually catching the end of it. I didn't watch the full thing, but hanging out with some buddies, drinking some beers. And once we're in, overtime number 2, going in there, we're set. We were in for the long haul. Interesting fact about it was the quarterback, Matt Jones for Arkansas, he started the game at receiver and only went into the quarterback at quarter 2. He started playing there, and basically overtime was him versus Lorenzen. Lorenzen, 7 overtimes. 7th overtime, Matt Jones threw a 2-point conversion to a 320-pound tight end you may know as Jason Peters, offensive tackle for the Bills, now Eagles.
Damn.
But, he caught the final 2-point conversion in that game, and then Lorenzen was stopped on the following drive on 4th down, tackled just short of the yard marker, and they lost the game. Arkansas won it. But
what year was that?
It was 2003. 71-63.
Jason Peters been in the league for that long?
He's been around forever, man.
Shit, dude.
It's crazy.
I remember Mac Jones. I think he got drafted by the Jaguars as a wide receiver. So
yeah, I think he had a little cocaine arrest, cutting it up with a Foot Locker gift card. If that's the same Matt Jones I'm thinking of.
Subscribe.